Joining us in the broadcast this minute is Lt General Ravi Sawhney. I'll just come back to you, sir. On our screen at this moment is this official statement, this tweet put out by the Defence Minister, deeply anguished by the sudden demise of Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat, his wife and 11 other armed forces personnel in an extremely unfortunate helicopter accident today in Tamil Nadu. His untimely death is an irreparable loss to our armed forces and the country. That is the statement coming in from Rajnath Singh. Lt General Ravi Sawhney is with us on the broadcast. This absolutely unfortunate piece of news coming our way, sir. The Indian Chief of Defence Staff, General Bipin Rawat, is no more. The Indian Air Force and also the Union Minister there confirming that unfortunate development. Your initial reaction, sir?
It's of shock, absolute shock, because it is the most untimely sort of a demise of a brilliant soldier. Actually, he must be given the credit that he took over the job, yes, which was a very, very important job. And I must say that he did this job commendably well. He had to start from the scratch. He had to put the strands together, get the three services integrated, and plan with them, which he did in an admirable fashion. And one had thought that he would be there for his full tenure, and afterwards also as an elderly veteran would continue to support this process. One is absolutely shocked that this unfortunate accident, which has taken away not only him but his wife also, and my heart goes for the daughters, the two daughters. They would be absolutely shocked. And I do believe that he'll be remembered for a long time, having initiated the process which one had thought was very difficult. But he did his job very diligently. And I must say that all three services had to will acknowledge that he did extremely well. He carried out the process of integration, which is a very, very difficult process. Easily said, but he did it. And he also waved in the bureaucracy, that is the MOD, into three services. And I think he started a process which I think will always be remembered. He was the pioneer. And I'm really, my sincerest condolences. And I feel that may God bless his soul. He was a very fine soldier. His memory will live forever, in my view, as first CDS, as a pioneer, as a very, very fine soldier and a gentleman. So,
absolutely. Lt General Sawhney, as we talk about the legacy that General Bipin Rawat leaves behind, any particular moment, interaction that you've had with him, or your most memorable moment that you would like to probably look back at?
You see, I had retired, so I happened to meet him at least about 2-3 times.
Yes.
I am with the Vivekananda International Foundation. He has been coming almost every year to speak to us. And we are very fortunate to have him because he always spoke very sincerely. And he had no pretensions, unable to listening to the suggestions. So he leaves a very fine impression, as far as I'm concerned, of a soldier who was dedicated. And I also saw him to be a very open man. He had he was not, I would say, he never hid his feelings. He always spoke like a soldier, and the soldiers loved it. He was very much capable of motivating anybody who saw, whether it was in J&K or it was in Eastern Ladakh or anywhere. So he was always there. He was always there with his ideas. He never sort of camouflaged his feelings, and the men loved it, absolutely. And by the way, I remember his father also, who was my instructor as a captain. So this runs into the family, and actually it's been a big loss. He had expected, he had set his goals, and he followed those. He actually made sure that he didn't allow any obstacle to come in the way. So that's how the good commanders behave, and I think he did his job very well. So he'll be remembered for that. And we are going to miss him. And anybody who fills his shoes will find that a hard act to follow.
Right. Lt General Sawhney, I also want to take this moment to get in a sense of the legacy that he leaves behind, also in terms of the position that he held, the Chief of Defence Staff, the first such post, the integration of the functioning of the three forces.
You see, the integration of the three forces was a very difficult task. Actually, if you had asked somebody about 6-7 years ago, before he started the job, whether this will be an easy job, everybody would have told you that it was something very, very difficult to achieve. And so the fact that he carried out the process, the fact that he went into the nitty-gritty of the process, and I'm absolutely certain that when you start a new process, there are not many obstacles, because people are used to the old ways. To change the ways is a very difficult process. And then, not only the three services, all the three services have got their own individual ethos. They tend to go by that. And the bureaucracy, that is the MOD itself and the other bureaucrats, they also had their own way. To wave them into one team itself, 5 years ago, it would have looked absolutely an impossible task. The fact that he managed it, the fact that he made a DMA and he was also made the secretary there, the fact that so many processes which were used to take so long, he managed to cut them short, that itself is a very commendable job he did. I think these things now, once they have been done, look easy, but I can very well imagine that it would have taken a lot of work, persuasion, and cajoling, etc., and of course sometime ordering also. So went through that, and he was also in the process of doing other organizations putting together, the commands, these processes, different processes, whether their acquisitions, etc. So I will not go into the details.
Yes.
Suffice to say that when there are, as I am saying, it is three services actually have absolutely different ethos. To have managed to weave them together into one sort of an organization, to integrate them, at least start the process and take it to a very great extent, was a very big achievement, which he must be given credit for.
Lt General Sawhney, appreciate very much your joining us on the broadcast and sharing those memories that you have of your interaction with General Bipin Rawat. For our viewers who might just be tuning in, an absolutely unfortunate piece of news that has come our way. The Indian Chief of Defence Staff, General Bipin Rawat, has passed away in that chopper crash that took place earlier this day in the southern state of Tamil Nadu. General Bipin Rawat, his wife and 11 others have tragically passed away in that crash. Further details at this point are awaited in terms of the rituals, and we are awaiting also an update on that crucial CCS meet, the Cabinet Committee on Security, that will be chaired by the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That is going to be beginning in just a short while from now. Let's get in our correspondent Siddhant Sibal onto the conversation as well. Siddhant, what is the latest that we have in terms of that meeting, which is going to be starting in just a short while from now?
Well, yes, Molly, that important, all-crucial meeting is all set to start in a few minutes from now at the Prime Minister's residence. Just a few kilometers away from where I am standing. But essentially, we know that the focus next will be to get his body back here to Delhi, and of course decide on the rituals and the ceremony. He was the sitting CDS. He was the first CDS as well, and of course his contribution is something which we have been talking about. Immense contribution to the Indian forces as the army chief and now as the CDS as well. But the focus, of course, will also be on what to do next. The CCS will be taking a call on all important issues, including deciding on issues like whether to announce state of mourning and other details. The Indian president, of course, has also cancelled most of his scheduled events in Mumbai. We know also that family members of Bipin Rawat are reaching Delhi as well. But absolutely shocking development today for the country, and as the Indian Air Force announced earlier today that a court of inquiry has been announced. So the report of this court of inquiry is something that will be very important and will give details as to exactly what happened that led to this crash, which of course killed the CDS along with him, his wife and other officials as well. But we do expect a statement of condolence by the Indian Prime Minister and the President as well. Already we have seen tweets by the Indian Home Minister Amit Shah, the Indian External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar and the Indian Defence Minister as well. But the first official confirmation came just a short while ago, around 15 minutes ago, by a tweet statement by the Indian Air Force that confirmed something that everyone was fearful of, and that after that confirmation we saw a series of tweets by the Indian political establishment. In fact, the foreign diplomatic community here in Delhi have started to react as well. The Australian envoy just a short while ago tweeted about this tragic development that has happened. He was a person who was quite engaging with people outside of the services. He has been engaging in the past when it comes to the media as well. He has spoken at many events talking about the security challenge India faced at the annual pressers of the army chief. He talked about many issues, took a lot of questions, and we still remember a lot of famous quotes. In fact, he gave essentially about the Indian security situation both internally and externally. But today, of course, is a sad day. He will be remembered for the role he played.
Right.